Hi everyone. So we are going to talk about our last couple hangouts. I'm going to start us off with Zaption. So Zaption allows you to create videos with interactive elements. The viewer does have the ability to respond to the video directly, and all responses are recorded. To use the site, there are 6 buttons at the top. It's tours, where you have yours, stuff you've created, the gallery, and then new tours for like other people. Um, you have videos, groups, where you can join a group and create a group, gallery, and then you can upgrade with money, and then you can refer friends. And to sign up, it is just your first and last name, your email, and your password. And then you have to complete the profile by answering 2 questions. And then there's a little tutorial you'll watch, and then you're done. Or you can choose to go through Facebook, Google, and Emoto.
I think this would be really helpful in my placement for the fact that it records the students' answers, because I know the way my classroom is set up, she has 2 computers like off to the side that students can use, so it would be nice if like they watched those videos and then responded to it, and she could go back and see what they responded. That way she doesn't have to be like looking over their shoulders the whole time. She can be doing something with like a whole group except for those 2 students.
I also think the fact that it automatically records responses is just amazing. It allows for teachers to have those responses right away without having to constantly check, and that it's going to save them, and they can always look back at them. They don't have to look at it right away. They can look at it maybe the next day or a day later or something like that. Not have to worry about it. Okay, so I did Web 2.0, and Web 2.0 is about new ways of creating, collaborating, and editing and sharing user-generated content online. It is easy to use, and teachers and students can use it and master it pretty quickly. There are 4 categories that Web 2.0 tools fall into: presentation tools, video tools, mobile tools, and community tools. With Web 2.0, presentation tools are things like SlideShare, Prezi, Google Slides, and emails. They basically allow you to be able to upload, create, edit, and share creative presentations anytime, anywhere. While video tools are like Animoto, Education, and PhotoPeach, they make it easier to integrate videos into shared projects and presentations. The mobile tools are things like polleverywhere.com, Kahoot, Phone.io, and Jot.com. They basically make your mobile devices even more, just more. they make it easy to podcast, blog, share media, and take quizzes, and they can make mobile devices into much more valuable classroom tools. And then community tools are things like Class 2.0, Creative Commons, Classroom Dojo, and Google Docs. They basically let you, the main aspects are community building and collaboration. These tools can allow teachers, students, and parents to communicate, share work, and collaborate anywhere at any time.
I like that it makes it easy for both parents, teachers, and students to all communicate. It really ensures that there is no miscommunication between the parent and the teacher having to go through the child. So it just makes it really easy for everyone and makes sure that everything is completed or they know what they need to know.
That happens a lot. I know in my placement classroom, I'm in a kindergarten classroom, and the students try to bring notes to the teachers all the time, but a lot of times when my teacher goes to talk to their parents, they say the note has been lost and they've never received it.
I also thought it was really cool how they were trying to incorporate cell phones in school, because in this day and age, children are getting cell phones in like 4th grade. So I think it's really cool to have it like be educational because there are going to be cell phones in the classroom. So it would be helpful if they could be used for an educational reason. And I think as long as you have a class that's honest and like is okay with using technology, they would be trustworthy to like use their cell phones.
Definitely. And I think as long as there is a way to like secure it so students can't go wandering to say like the internet, it'll
Mhm.
definitely ensure that it's their students are staying on task.
And I mean, again, it's all about classroom climate and like how your classroom acts and your classroom management. So I think like you could be able to gauge a class whether they'd be able to handle that or not. So my tool that I looked at was QR codes. And what this is basically a website, and you can enter a website or something else, for example, and it generates this code, which is like a little square thing, and there's like different lines in it. And then you could take a tablet or a cell phone and go over the code, and it automatically brings you to that website. So people use QR codes for 9 reasons, and it's to make a URL or a website. It can bring you to a text, it can bring you to a phone number, it can bring you to an email, to a contact, to a calendar event, to a geolocation, or to an app. So, and it's really, really easy to use. It's all free. You just have to enter the thing online, and it automatically generates for you, and then you just have to print it out. All you need is the app on your phone or on a tablet, and students are very good at using it. All they do is just go over to it and like literally hold the tablet above the thing, and it automatically brings them to the website. And it's really helpful in classes because it gets the students like out of their seats. Some teachers I know use it as like a scavenger hunt, like they have to find different things on websites. And it can be used for history. You could like scan it and it could bring you to a historical video that you could watch, or an educational website. Or you could do it for like language arts. You could scan it and it could bring you to a sentence, and then the students have to fix the sentence on their own. For science, you could scan it and it could bring you to like a video of a science experiments being done. Math, it could bring you to a math problem. It's really like an unlimited amount of things you can do with it. You really just have to use your mind. And like I said, it's all free. Anyone can use it. People use them all the time. You see them on ketchup bottles. It's just like something that's so immersed in today's society. It's like really, really nice that it's like can be brought to the classroom as well.
I like the QR codes because it's a nice surprise for the students when they're getting up out of their seats and they're going around the classroom using the QR codes. It's like, oh, what's this one going to be? Is it going to be a game? Is it going to be a movie? It's a nice surprise for them, and it keeps them interested more when they don't know what's at each station.
I also think it's a great way of sharing links and sharing different types of information without having to put that information right there. So maybe you have a link to maybe a survey for parents, and you have a paper copy, but you also have a link that they can go to, and they can just scan that link and they can go online and do the survey rather than having to write in all their answers, and then you get your response immediately if you use something like Google Forms.
Right, and even like you were saying, like they don't have to type everything in. If it's like a kindergarten class and the survey's on like a really long website, kindergartners wouldn't be able to type that into a computer, but they could easily just scan it and it would bring them right there.
So my next one is Crafty Extensions. It is an extension of Chrome, and there are 3 levels to it. There's Crafty level, and it shows you the reading level of any web page. There's Crafty Writes, which forces all searches for images to return so they are free to share. And it makes, or it helps to make sure that there is no copyright law being broken for the images. It helps to avoid it. And then the last one is Crafty Text, and it displays the text in a large spot in the center of the screen, and then it's great to show single words, class codes, and web addresses. And there's no login required for it.
I think it's super helpful, the part where the Crafty Right, I think it was called, that it tells you if your picture is infringing on a copyright law. Because I think younger kids, they have a very hard time like citing things and like doing APA or MLA. So this would be a nice like lead in to teaching them that no, you can't use everything on the internet. You have to give credit where credit is due. And I think it would just be a nice way to like bring them into that world slowly.
And it's good to start them younger, so by doing the images instead of websites, they are getting started at a young age, and they'll be used to it by the time they get to high school and college.
Right, and like you can't ask a kindergarten to do APA, but you can
No.
explain to a kindergarten how this writing thing would tell you that it needs other credit too.
I really liked the Crafty Levels extension. I think that that would be great for all classrooms. I think it'd make it easier for teachers to look for resources online, and maybe if you found this really great article and like with the rights, you can't print out a bunch of articles and give it out because that's taking away from the owner of that article. So by knowing what level it is online, you can just let the students go and sit and maybe read it at the computer, and they can take turns, and you know this is the level for my students, or maybe this is the level that's maybe too hard for my students. I can read it to them, but I know this isn't going to be something that they can read on their own.
I agree. I feel like that's really helpful, especially like in my placement that I'm in now. The reading levels vary so much. You can't just give out one paper that they can all read. So it would be very helpful for her and less time consuming to automatically get what level this website article is on.
And our last tool is called electronics. They're basically a pen that allows you to draw circuits. It is a roller ball pen that writes with non-toxic conductive silver ink, and it makes creating circuits as easy as doodling. This website has different types of kits of modules, which is the little pieces that you can use to connect the circuits, and they can be put together, and you can teach lessons with them. That they have kits that are like easier and harder range, and for groups of students from like 10 students to 30 students. Some of the topics in the kits are current and voltage, conductivity and resistance, and series and parallels, and digital electronics and logic. They have an online simulator that will let you play online and with all of the components, and you can also print out your projects so that you can actually do the circuits on paper. The pens last for a very long time. They wrote with one pen several years ago, and it still works today. You can use the pens just like a regular pen on any kind of paper as long as it's a flat surface.
I think it's really cool that now students can see that circuits can be made with only a pen, a piece of paper, and a piece of steel underneath it. And I think that it would be really easy for the students to see like flow of current with this pen and piece of paper and the steel, and I think it'd be easier for them to see with that than with like the actual wires and stuff, because this way they can literally write it out, and then they can like put the thing on and like they can see that it's going, rather than just like connecting two wires. So it's like a new way to look at it for people that don't necessarily learn by connecting wires. They would learn more by like watching it after they drew it.
I like how there are different levels, or different kits for the different levels. It makes it really easy to accommodate all the students in the classroom instead of just a majority of them. Say you have that one student who doesn't know electronics, he's very different, or not different, he just doesn't understand it as much. So he can do the basic level where you have that very advanced student who loves doing electronics, loves to figure stuff out. Give him, say, the hardest kit, and he'll be happy. So it definitely makes it nice.
I also think this is great we're trying to get more engineers and scientists out of students, and I feel like this is a way to make students see that science and engineering is a really fun career, and that this is something that they can do.
Okay, so that is our final hangout.
Yay!